made plays in all three phases of the game. Got good field position out of the kicking game and moved the ball and scored points on offense and, held them to 3 points on defense. So let's give the players the credit. They were ready to go. They played well, and we'll turn the page here and move on to Miami, where obviously we haven't done very well down there. So we've got a big week in front of us, but good to get off to a good start. Long way to go. A lot of things we can still keep working on and get better at, but players are ready to go tonight. They did a good job.
Raise your hands if you'd like to ask a question. We'll pass the mic to you. Go ahead, Steve.
Hi, Bill. Big play in the second quarter was defense. Made a couple of big stops there, turned it into points. That kind of opened up the game.
Yeah, I thought our defensive players played well, across the board. We got, it's hard to get to Roethlisberger. He does a good job back there, but I thought we were, around him and covered well, tackled well. Again, it's a very good group of skilled players, and our players really competed hard against them today. So we had a couple big third down stops, fourth down stops, stopped down around the goal line. So, we made some big plays when we had to.
Bill, when things unfold the way they did with Kyle Van Noy and he's unavailable to you, what is the trickle-down effect of that personnel-wise, and how did you think you guys responded to that?
Well, we had planned on having 5 outside linebackers active, so fortunately that was a position that we have pretty good depth at. So the 4 guys there, Calhoun, Winovich, Simon, and Jamie, really, they did a good job. I mean, they all played, and I think they all, play fairly well on defense as a group. So, but it was fortunate that we had some depth there. But look, I mean, that could happen, on the first play of a game anyway. So you always have to be ready for that. But our guys responded to it well. They did a great job.
Bill, your offense was obviously very productive tonight, but Antonio Brown already put out on social media that he's joining your team. What might he add? Can you tell us anything about that decision?
Yeah, no. I'll talk about the game players that are on our team. I thought they did a great job tonight offensively. We, had some balance and made some big plays. Had a couple big throws down the field for touchdowns and big gains. So, anytime you can get those explosive plays, that helps open things up.
Bill, can you talk about the evolution of Philip Dorsett in this offense? He seemed real comfortable tonight in terms of routes and being at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, well, Phil's got a lot of speed. He can definitely stretch the field, and we've seen him make those big plays before, so I've seen him in practice. So, he had some big catches for us, and again, that opened up some other things offensively as well. So, Tom did a great job. Hit him, solid coverage, hit him. I mean, sometimes those are the toughest throws for a quarterback when the guy's wide open and run down the middle of the field, but we put it right on him, and Phil's done a good job for us. Been out there every day. He's a tough kid that has been very dependable, smart, plays all the positions, and has come through for us in a lot of big games.
Bill, how big of an impact is it when a guy like Marcus goes down, when the ramifications mean you have 2 guys, one guy coming to the game and one guy playing out of position as a result of that injury, as opposed to one guy just kind of sub it in?
Yeah, well, most teams take 7 players to 7 offensive linemen to the game. That's what we had. So, obviously if something happens, you got to make a move somewhere. So, can't back up every position. Somebody's got to move.
Coach, the last couple of seasons, the defense has started a little bit slow and improved as the season's gone on. Today, obviously, an unbelievable start. Do you feel that the group is ahead of where they were this time last year in terms of their understanding of what their roles and responsibilities are?
Yeah, I don't know. We got 15 games to go. We'll see. We'll see what we do this week in Miami. Let's take it one game at a time.
Bill, Tom Brady didn't have a chance to work with Josh Gordon or Julian Edelman much in the preseason. What did you see from them in terms of their chemistry tonight?
Well, as I said, we made a lot of plays offensively. There's still, I think, a lot of room for improvement all across the board, and those guys will work hard at it as they always do. Hopefully, we'll continue to be productive.
I got you here. Hey, Bill, just wanted to see, do you have any comment on the reports and
No.
of Antonio Brown? The offensive game plan that you guys installed today, it seemed very intricate. You started heavy, then you came back empty. A lot of different things happened on that. Can you talk a little bit about the game plan that Josh installed and the way it was executed?
Yeah, Josh always does a great job of utilizing the players that are available, putting them in great positions, and attacking the defense. Every week's a little bit different challenge based on the scheme and the players that we're up against. But Josh does a great job of organizing the game plan, play calling, making adjustments in the game. Thought he did a great job tonight. Players did a great job executing. We took care of the ball. We had a lot of positive plays, and so it was a good outing.
Bill, it's been a long road for Isaiah Wynn to get to this night. How nice was it to see him out there tonight?
Yeah, well, it's been great to see him out there all training camp, and each week it's been a little bit more. But he's a good football player. I'm glad we have him, and glad he got to play all night tonight.
This was a night with a lot of electricity for the fans at the start. I know you guys weren't out there for that, but can you feel that at all at the start of the game, and then when you guys make some plays to get going?
I thought the crowd was definitely in the game tonight, but we all we can do is go out there and play hard and try to make plays. So, but yeah, I thought they were into it for sure.
Final question?
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you.
questions here. Carosola to the right.
Hey, Josh, can you just share what it felt like to be back out there again, to make the impact that you did on the field, and maybe just how much fun, if you had fun out there?
That was the main goal for me, just have as much fun as possible, go like as hard and, put as much of myself out there as I possibly could, and I think I had a good time with it. That was my number one objective.
Right here, Matt.
Josh, do you feel like that your chemistry with Tom Brady is really coming together? It seemed like, especially on a couple of deep balls, that you guys were on the same page.
We have spent a lot of time together. I would say so. I think over the course of time, talking together, working together, after practice, in between practice. Yeah, I get a feel for what he likes, and I try to find my way there as best as I can. I think it'll get better. It's the first game, so we're building.
Hey, Josh, how would you characterize how you're doing, health-wise first, football-wise second?
I'm doing very well. I'm extremely filled with gratitude every day. Just enjoying myself coming inside this building, being around this family-oriented type of environment, and just doing what I love to do. There's nothing better than this, honestly. It's great.
The last two questions, we got Jarrett Bell and then go ahead, Jarrett.
Josh, when you came here, there were a lot of questions about how you would fit into the Patriots environment, the culture. Can you shed some light on what has helped you with the culture? And then when you think of Antonio Brown coming here, what would be the advice to him in terms of flowing with this culture?
Well, yeah, for me initially it was a culture shock. It was definitely different. But, I think as I grew in this environment and got to observe other young men move and organize and act professionally, and expectations were high, and it wasn't anything more than what I think they knew that they could do was being asked of them. I knew I was like, all right, this is the way it's done here. I could either get with it or look for a transition somewhere else. It's tough, but if this is what you want to do, I think this is the best place to be.
And for Antonio?
Antonio, he's gonna have to figure out his own way, just like everybody else has,
Last question, Scott.
Everybody knows how much you work out, but to see you catch the ball, score that touchdown, and then have the impressive catch down the middle where there's contact, seems just from a confidence standpoint, how gratifying is that for you to go out there and make the plays and make them the way you do?
Just working out with Moses Cabrera here every morning. He's been my, a real good resource for me, coming back, getting into shape, making sure I'm on top of things and giving my best effort. And we talk about it every day, what we want to put out there at practice. And it feels good to know that we put together somewhat of a finished product this first week and was able to maintain. Now we want to be able to build upon it. So continued hard work, that's what we're all about. That's what I'm going to continue to try and do.
Thank you, Josh. Kevin McCourty's next. Thank you, Josh. Captain Kevin McCourty. Raise your hand, we'll pass the mic and you can ask a question. We'll start with Mike Reese in the front, followed by Mike Belichick.
3 points, Devin. Seemed like a great start. What would be your sort of characterization of the way the defense played tonight?
I think we just did a good job. Every time we play a good defensive performance, it's because we kind of stuck to the game plan. And I would say that's what we did today. And I think I talked about during the week just being able to adjust. And they gave us a lot of different things, whether it was a two-back, situation, if it was 4 wide, 5 wide. They did a bunch of different things. And I think our ability to adjust and communicate out there helped us out a lot on defense. And I think that's something that we just got to continue to work on and get better because teams are going to do different things. I think it helps. We got a lot of guys that could start on a lot of teams in the NFL, and guys are very selfless, come out here, prepare when their number's called to go out there and play, and I think we just got to keep that mentality all throughout.
It seemed like you guys were able to substitute regularly, especially the front seven in front of you. I'm curious, when you guys are substituting that frequently this early in the season, what is that a quality of in terms of defensive signal calling?
I think it's a credit to all of the guys, on defense. Everybody's earned the opportunity to be out there playing. And I think the coaches is doing a great job making sure everybody's fresh, putting different guys in there because everyone's played well. I mean, you guys have watched throughout preseason. We've had a number of guys that have been out there and played good football. I'm sure all you guys do your roster projections, and you've changed it a bunch of times leading into this. And I think that's a credit to the guys that have been in this locker room, guys that are on other teams now, since April have worked their butts off. So it feels good to come out here, opening night and have a lot of guys play for us defensively and a lot of guys play well.
You mentioned that opening night, the sideline is going to come important, where you guys come off the field and guys can point out some things that you probably have never seen before. Did that help tonight? Were you able to do that tonight?
Yeah, and I think because of the experience we have in the secondary, when we're over there talking, it's guys playing so many different roles that we're just discussing whatever it was. So when the next guy's in a different role and he's in a role that a guy just came from, we can talk about this so they know what to expect. And I thought that showed up throughout the game of us just continuing to talk and try to get things on the same page. And, they gave us some things that, we kind of talked about, maybe this would happen. And we just did a good job of getting on the same page on every play. And a lot of that comes from just being able to talk on the sideline. And you'll see sometimes, like the whole coaching staff is still meeting, talking about the last series. And, we're over there, Jay's holding the surface, and we're going over it on our own because we have a lot of guys that have played here for a long time.
Devin, we're used to seeing Duron Harmon making that deep pick over the middle late in the games and the deep coverage. Is there sort of art in that sort of closer pick late in games? And how does it feel defensively as a unit when you get that sort of stop from a team that's trying to throw deep and get back in the game in that situation?
It's awesome because it's tiring out there once they start throwing every down, and we're out there chasing a lot of these fast guys. And Duron actually switched with me on that play. So he could have been back there. So we always laugh and joke. There's been a couple times I've switched with him, and he's got an interception. So both of us just back there, we talk all throughout the week on quarterback reads, what we saw with Big Ben, of how to play it in the middle. So anytime either one of us get an interception, a lot of it is just us communicating during the week of how to play things and what we think's best. So our group is so unselfish, man. We all enjoy everybody making plays, and you saw that tonight. There was a lot of pass breakups, a lot of good coverage, and that's good. It's a good outfit. You're going against a Hall of Fame quarterback and a lot of good receivers.
Devin, as one of the captains of the team, what is your reaction to the news that Antonio Brown's going to be joining the team?
Like I told Mike Girardi earlier, we got plenty of time to talk about Antonio Brown. I just feel like tonight is a big credit to the guys that have been putting in work since April. He's a great player, so we'll see how everything works out. But I was excited just to be out there with this team and guys competing and playing well tonight.
You talked about the sideline operation a little bit with the defense coming back and going over the surface and things like that. But when it comes to Mayo and Steve Belichick, what did they add to the defense tonight in terms of how they were communicating with you guys on the field?
I think the cool thing is they both have great relationships with the players. Maybe it's because they're a lot closer in age. So all throughout the week, we're talking, before drive, Steve's asking us what we like. Even earlier today, just talking about different things that we like. Same thing with Mayo. So I think the thing that's been great, around here is just constant communication, not just players, but players, coaching, players and coaches of just communicating what we like, what we don't like, and just making sure we're all on the same page. And I think that's how you play your best football, is when the guys on the sideline are working well together with all the guys on the field, because we're the guys out there that got to make the plays. Appreciate it.
guys, how you doing? Duro. Did you guys finish it off? I owe it all to 21 back there. My guy. Who's up? It's getting late.
Tom, you started off tonight with some errant throws. Even with someone with your experience, do even you need time in an opening night just to ease back into the situation, back into the game?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's this part of the season, so there's a lot of things to improve. I could certainly do a lot better job in certain areas. So get back to work. It's first game. It's good to start 1-0. Some guys made some big plays. I love how Phil played. Josh made plays. Jules did. I think the receiving group. So it was some good things to build on and try to improve it next week.
Tom, given what he's been through and what his potential is for the team, to see Josh play as well as he does, is that kind of give the team as a whole a lift?
Yeah, I mean, I think Josh is a great player, and he was last year for us, and it's great to have him out there. And he's a dynamic player, and every game that we play together, there's just more things that come up. There's more trust that's built, and I'll keep finding a way to get him the ball.
Tom, you didn't have a chance to work with Josh Gordon or Julian much during training camp. How did you feel your chemistry was with those guys tonight?
Yeah, we got plenty of work to do. I think it was good we didn't turn the ball over. We were pretty penalty free for a while until the fourth quarter. Our defense played great, so it's a good formula for winning. Don't turn it over. Not a lot of penalties. We could have done a better job in the red area, which I think we can do. So nothing is. I don't think anything was perfect tonight, and try to get back to work tomorrow and try to get ready for next week in Miami.
Someone you have had time to work with and do have chemistry with, how much was that a factor in the 2 touchdown throws to Philip Dorsett?
With Phil, yeah, he did a great job. Phil's smart, dependable, consistent, tough. Continued to take advantage of his opportunity, and he's done a great job for us. He plays a lot of different spots. He's out there all training camp and came up with 2 huge plays tonight. So it's great getting him the ball, seeing him score like that, and you can't forget about him because he can run through the defense and make a lot of plays with the ball in his hands. So we'll just keep spreading it around.
There's an old baseball expression from 20 years ago: "Chicks dig the long ball." How much do you like throwing it deep?
Yeah, that's a good saying.
You agree?
Yeah, we all dig the long ball. So
how fun was it though for you to air it out tonight and have that opportunity to do that?
Yeah, it was good to get a few of those in there. It was definitely good to get a few in there. It was a game we weren't. Just didn't feel like we were making consistent enough plays, and the big plays really helped us tonight, and they'll help us every week if we keep making them. But I think it's got to be different things every week, and sometimes it's big plays, sometimes it's more methodical drives, and whatever they're going to defend, we've got to figure out how to execute against. So that's what we'll get back to work again. It's the first game of the year, so there's a lot to learn from. A lot of new players out there. We're going to try to build on tonight and try to get to 2-0.
Tom, we saw a lot of those 2-back sets with the 2 receiving backs, Rex and James, on the field at the same time. What kind of advantages does that provide you guys? Maybe just in a vacuum, what it does for your offense, but maybe what it does to the defense as well.
Yeah, it's good to get those guys involved in the game too, because with the halfback and you just wait for one halfback every play. Those guys don't play a lot, and they're such good players for our team. You got to find ways to get them both on the field, and I think the good thing about those guys is they're all versatile. They run, they catch, and blitz pickup. So I think when you're able to do all 3, it puts a lot of stress on the defense. So, they're going to play a big role for us all season. We have some depth at that position, and it's going to be a critical position for us all year.
Tom, you guys put up 33 points tonight. One guy that gets overlooked is Josh McDaniels.
Yeah.
You talk about the brilliance of him and how you guys work together.
Yeah, we've had a great relationship for a long time. I have so much trust in him and what he puts together every week, and he works extremely hard. He's diligent. he puts a lot of pressure on the defense, and that's what you got to do. You got to keep forcing different things, and I think over the course of the season, you got to figure out a lot of different ways. And I think this team gets used to that. It's not this way is going to win. You're going to win like this every single week. It's, some days it's going to be more to the back, some days it's going to be more to the receivers, some days it's more to tight ends, more to run game. It's, that's the ebb and flow of the season. So, again, I think defense played great. They have been doing that all season, and hopefully that continues, and hopefully we can keep taking care of the ball, play good field position. We got to do a better job when we get in the red area and score more points, and I think we can do that.
Hey, Robert Kraft told Al Michaels from NBC that you related that you were 1,000,000% in on Antonio Brown. Are you excited about the addition of him and what he can do for this team? And do you see at all any difficulty in having him assimilate to the team?
Yeah, I think everybody's excited to add, great players. It helps everybody when, you have great players that are sharing the burden of a tough football season. So I think, like anything else, whether it was Josh last year or Philip when he got here a few years ago late, and then, this year Antonio, how much can you learn and process and get in here, and we're all going to work hard and try to get up to speed as fast as possible. But we haven't had a training camp together or that, so it's, you got to force a lot of information, and, we're all excited to have him, and all I could say is we're just going to work as hard as we possibly can to get up to speed as quickly as possible.
Tom, just follow up, because it said you went from 100 to 1,000 to 1,000,000% in.
That was personal conversation with RKK. I got to reevaluate. Tell him.
But following up on that, though, what's your role as a team leader for helping Antonio get acclimated to this situation?
Yep. I think all of us players are trying to be the best player that we could be for the team, and there's a lot of things that play into that. But we're all trying to reach our highest potential individually so that we can reach our highest potential collectively. And it doesn't come together just because you say, oh, all you guys are going to come together. And these guys have had, Antonio's had a lot of production. Demarius has a lot of production. Julian's had a lot of production. Josh has had a lot of production. Phillip had a great game tonight. So the point is we've got a lot of players that are talented, and we just got to figure out how to make it all work. And we're going to work hard. It's a long year. It's the beginning of a long marathon, and NFL is very competitive, and it's going to be a great challenge, but I think we're all looking forward to it.
Thank you, Tom. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.